Welcome back to the stash. This time I've been gone for a total of 20. Jesus, 20 days.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
It's that time of the month again. A new issue of The Amazing Spider-Man is out. Now, I read this beforehand, obviously, and I generally sat there for a solid 5 to 10 minutes questioning my life. This book is bad. No surprises there, but reading it feels more like a chore now than anything else. And Zeb Wells has a serious talent, and that being boring his readers to sleep. But before we get into it, we're getting so close to 650 subscribers. With your help, I know we can reach it before the end of the month. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Now, just in case you've missed previous issues of ASM, I'll do a quick recap of what's happened before. I'm so sorry I have to be the one to catch you up. With the Limbo Embassy established in New York City, Wreck-Rap was free to take his fight against the Insidious Six out of hell and onto the streets. Their epic battles were unfortunately cut short by their fellow demon, the Repossessor, devouring the members of the Insidious Six one by one to return them to Limbo under the Goblin Queen's orders. After a few close calls, Wreck-Rap noticed suspicious behavior from Repo, which put him on the case to uncover the demon's true motives. Unconvinced Wreck-Rap had much of a case, Spider-Man abandoned him, only for Wreck-Rap to be devoured by Repo himself. But the web wanger, may have been onto something even bigger than he ever could have imagined, as Repo's collection didn't stop at Wreck-Rap and the Insidious Six. Drawn to Spider-Man's secret identity for reasons unknown, Repo ransacked Parker's apartment and kidnapped his best friend Randy Robertson. When Spider-Man went to confront Repo and save Randy, he was soon overwhelmed and devoured by Repo as well. We never thought this was how Spider-Man would go out. Okay, let's get this over with. Our tale begins right where we left off last time, with Spider-Man being consumed by the mysterious person who is now known as Repo. As we turn the page, we see... oh god, no. Wreck-Rap Storytime Adventure in a Rapturous Wreck-Rap-diculous tale. I call Spider-Man, asks for my help, and I say, sure buddy, I would love to help.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Can Zeb Wells please stop bringing up Kraven's Last Hunt? He's ruined it more than enough already, and I'm sick of him bringing it up every 2 seconds. Sadly, Spider-Man survives the fall and is now in the middle of the Insidious Six, who also find this abomination very annoying. We're also heavily reminded of how fast time moves inside of Repo, with 10 seconds of Earth time being equal to 2 days. Anyway, they come up with a plan to free themselves by just going back up from where they came from, basically. That was the genius plan. And also, before I forget, back on Earth, Repo still hasn't shut up about his debts and all that, and is about to torture Randy, the usual. This, back and forth thing goes on for the next couple of pages because Zeb Wells is the master of suspense until Spider-Man and Wreck-Rap are finally free. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the big reveal of who the Repo really is? Are you sure you can handle the sheer excitement, the sheer brilliance of... It was a random nobody from a few issues back. Literally, the only thing I remember about this guy was him asking for Peter for something continuously until he got bashed by someone. I completely forgot about him up until now. What was the point? Seriously, why even bother? Even when I was reading through his little origin story here, I don't even remember this happening in a previous issue. This guy is completely pointless. What? We've hit even further than rock bottom. It's like when SpongeBob went down that one mountain bus stop thing and he was just stuck there full of weirdos. This is where we're at now. Long story short, Spider-Man defeats Repo, saves Randy, and then the Queen of Limbo sends Wreck-Rap back to where he belongs. So that pointless story that nobody cared about is finally over, so we can move on to the setup for another story that nobody will care about. Randy is annoyed at how the city is run and makes efforts to try to cause an uproar within the people to make some change. At the next meeting, Hammerhead makes it clear of his powerful stance over the other mob bosses. Randy and Janice are still on bad terms since he sort of ditched her at their own wedding while her dad was half dead. Geez, Marvel really hates weddings. And last and definitely least, someone takes over Silvermane's robot body and makes Count Nefario look like Janet trying to talk to Hank.
Why you boring me? I'm right.
The issue ends with a cliffhanger. Ooh, who is this mysterious figure looking to cause some havoc among the gang war? It's probably the Green Goblin. Now, before I go over my opinions, I want to quickly show you the letters page once again because Nick Lowe clearly has a form of understanding about Spider-Man comics which us readers just simply can't comprehend. There was this one letter by a fan who was basically expressing his feelings about how bad the current states of Spider-Man comics were and how he was a massive fan of everything before the infamous One More Day, how he loves Peter and Mary Jane Watson. You know, like, he's a normal fan. A great point he made was their marriage to many showed how much they've grown up together, which fits what felt like the common theme of the first 4 decades of Spider-Man, that being growing up. That is a pretty standard and valid point, and how One More Day basically just undid all that progress, and especially what they're writing now. But what did the editor of Spider-Man have to say for that? I don't agree that the theme of the first 4 decades of ASM was growing up, but you're obviously entitled to your interpretation. I wouldn't hold your breath for One More Day to be undone anytime soon. I'll never say never, of course, because life is life. If Spider-Man's first 40 years of stories wasn't based around the theme of growing up, then I'd love to hear your thoughts on why the new Ultimate Spider-Man series, which has him as a family man, gained more positive attention than the main title ever will, which has him in your bizarro eyes, young and relatable. Has this guy seriously read a single Spider-Man story besides that weird pedophile Wolverine one he forced Bendis to write? We've read Peter grow from a teenager in high school to a student in college to a young adult to a married man, and then we were going to get a family man until they got taken away from us by a certain Osborn. Hey, but it's cool, isn't that right, Peter? But according to Mr. Lowe over here, growing up wasn't the main theme. Does he tell us what he thinks the main theme is by any chance? No, of course not. Now, the story of this book felt very all over the place, which is actually a very common theme within this series. It felt like they just sort of regretted the whole repo story and just wanted to get it out of the way as soon as possible. I have zero excitement for the Gang War story. It's going to be like, 30 issues long? The original one from like the 80s was 6 issues or something. And that one was a fun read. So you know what? Just go read that one instead. This book is so bad that it's just sort of become there, in a sense. Like, we're just waiting and waiting for things to get better as we have to go through all of these painful releases. A very weird limbo state, I guess you could say. I mean, this series doesn't even feel like the Amazing Spider-Man anymore. If anything, this gives off more of a Web of Spider-Man vibe. With no disrespect to that series, as it's way better than whatever the hell this is. But these stories feel like it's a part of the 5th Spider-Man series going on simultaneously, which no one but a select few will read, with stories which ultimately mean nothing in the end. I probably butchered that whole explanation, but you know what I mean. But now is where I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of this new issue of The Amazing Spider-Man? Leave a comment down below and we can start a conversation. Hopefully I can start to be a bit more consistent with uploads. I've just been so busy with work. But that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe because here, any support means so much. And be sure to tune in next time for more comic or Spider-Man related content. Same web time, same web channel. Thank you guys again for watching. See you in the next one.